Hope you've been well. Hope you've been fine. Happy 2021. Haven't seen you this year. It's I don't know what to say about the year so far, but what I have to say is I am definitely grateful that God has allowed me to see another year. Not so many people made it this far. Today is the 10th, so we are 10 days in and it already feels old because obviously, as you can tell, we still have some baggage from 2020 that we are all dealing with, in terms of the pandemic and everything else happening in the world. I thought I'd check in. I see how you're all doing. I have to say that I'm excited about New Year. I'm excited about the first couple of months, especially of a new year, because I do a lot of reflecting. I love reflection. Clearly, that's why I did social work. There's a lot of reflecting, critical reflection to do. But I think, what is life without reflecting? You would never do things differently, and you would never have opportunities to learn and grow if you don't reflect on what has come and gone. So today I thought I'd jump on here and maybe just share a couple of stories, but also share more about, I was doing a video before about my New Year's resolution and my camera died. So I'm not sure, I might do that again, or I might try and merge those clips later on, but I'm not going to talk about that now. Today I'm going to talk about some of the things that I learned when I realized that I've now become an adult or I'm becoming an adult, or I'm no longer a child now. I have bills to pay, and I have and I have to take responsibility. I think I've got two stories to share. The first story, this is a story I remember today after a long time. So a couple of years ago, this must be maybe must have been 18 or 19. I was just off my teenage life. My mom works in a hospital, and she still did, but at the time she did a lot of night shifts. So I remember one day we were all just in the sitting area, and we just chilling, all of us, and my mom is running helter skelter in the house, and because she was preparing to go to work. And I remember it was raining outside, and I just remember looking at her and just thinking, mom is running like this because she has to get to work. She's an essential worker, obviously going to hospital. And I started thinking, like, how unfair is is this, the fact that I've had dinner, I'm staying warm in the house, I'm gonna sleep in my warm bed, while my mother gets to go out and work at night and move from one ward to another in the cold, when I'm sleeping in bed. I don't know, I was a bit young at the time, but I put myself in her shoes. I've always known that I was an empath, but I feel like this is the first time. She had gone to night shift for so many years before this day, but this is the day it hit me. It's almost like a realization, that I'm headed there. I'm going to get out of my teens. I'm going to be in my 20s. I'm going to be in my 30s. We'll reach a point where I'll have to take responsibility, not just because I'll have kids or I'll be married or I have to go to work, but because I will be an adult. And I remember that day I just walked up to my mom and I told her, "Mom, can I come with you to work?" And she looked at me thinking, you can't sleep. There are no beds there. And I said, "Yeah, I know. I'll come with you." Anybody who knows me, I sleep like I'm being paid. I love sleeping, and not just sleeping because I'm lazy. I don't consider myself lazy, but sleep to me is therapy. People go for therapy. Therapy is a good thing to go to, but on top of that, I have sleep. When I sleep through pain, I sleep through stress, I sleep through disappointments, anything that makes my body feel like, how some people, when they're stressed, they might go out with friends, they might have a couple of drinks and go and dance and catch up. For me, it's like, if I'm stressed, if I'm disappointed, if I'm frustrated, if I'm feeling things are not working out, if I'm tired, anything that drains your body physically, for me, I need some sleep, because when I get up, all that will be in the past. I would have solved my problems. I sleep through turbulence. I've talked about, I think I did a video before where I spoke about how I slept through turbulence. Flight was going, like the flight was literally almost upside down, and I was in deep sleep and I didn't hear a thing. So I sleep through crisis as well. That said, my mom was a bit shocked, because she was like, I know how you sleep, so you're not talking about coming to work with me. But I said, yeah, mom, I'm coming to you with you. I wanted to see what that process was like. For the first time, I knew that it wasn't hard. I knew it wasn't easy to go for a night shift, to not sleep all night. And I knew my mom didn't sleep a lot. I think she only slept like maybe 3 hours or so during the day, or even less, because she always has something to do. For those of us who know African mothers, they're always busy at home. They're more busy at home than they are at work. So I learned a very huge lesson from going to work with my mom that day. One lesson that I learned is that, you know, parents are not superhumans. I think, being in boarding school for many years, I always thought parents are superhumans. I always thought, they always having money. There's this perception that most kids have, the parents never run out of money, and they are superpowers. It's almost like they have a superpower. They never get tired. They don't need sleep. They don't have frustrations, or they don't have dreams to meet, or disappointments. And it's almost like I realized that I had put my parents in a pedestal where I didn't almost view them as human. I view them as superhumans. And I wanted to go with my mom to work so that I can see for myself what she goes through. And I think we never had this conversation. We probably will after this. But it was a realization to me that she has always sacrificed. And it's not that she really enjoyed going to, she loves her job. Obviously, if she didn't, I don't think she would do it so well. Her job is giving as well, because she's helping people. But I think it must be hard to be at work in the middle of the night, or at night, and everybody else is asleep, and especially when it's raining and you have to walk from one ward to another. So I learned a huge lesson of selflessness. I learned a lesson of sacrifice, and what a parent can do, and they can go above and beyond to be there for their children, to put food on the table, to give the kids what they want, buy them clothes, have a roof over their head, and go above and beyond to give their kids what they require, or their essential cater for their essential needs. And I realized that my mom was a human. She needed sleep. She needed rest. She needed someone to take care of her the way she was taking care of us. And I stayed up. I stayed up the whole time, and I think I went to bed. I think around morning. I didn't go to bed. I put 2 chairs together in her workplace, and I just slept on those chairs in their staff room. And when she went for her morning rounds, that's when I slept for around 2 hours or so. And then she came back, and we went home. But it was a huge lesson, and I think I did that a couple of times. I went with her for night shift a couple of times. And I remember her telling me later on that one of her friends was asking her, "Where is your daughter, the one who used to come with you for night shifts?" But I think it is a huge lesson for me. What by watching, I'm just talking about my mom. Not that I haven't learned anything about my dad, but it's just that my mom is the one who did more night shifts, and I've got that opportunity to observe her. They both work in the medical field, so they're both selfless, and anybody who works, most people who work in medical field, they have that love for humanity and saving. They're the people we need right now in the middle of a pandemic. So really honored to have parents who chose those kinds of careers, and who are empathic and think about the well-being of the society, and especially health-wise, physical health, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I thought I'd share that, just because what I thought was those lessons that I learned looking and observing my parents working in the medical field has made me value nurses, value doctors, value people who are now especially working in aged care, or working with vulnerable people, people with disabilities, support care workers, lifestyle coordinators, diversional therapists, social workers, welfare officers, anybody who is working in those society in the health industry per se. They're the people that everyone is looking up to right now to take care of their most vulnerable family members and loved ones. So it's just, for me, it's a lot of gratitude to know that I was privileged enough to grow and to be around people like that, who showed me how it is to give, and to give selflessly without expecting anything in return. So yeah, I thought I'd share that today, and I hope I'll be consistent again this year, share more of my journey as an international student, but share more stories here and there because I love stories. Share more stories about my upbringing and what I learned in life, right? Okay, so until the next one, God bless you. Bye.